in this video, I'll discuss a little bit about God regretting in rabbinic literature. Of course, God regretting in the Bible is already famous. I just want to get another few narrations from rabbinic literature to make that same point. So this is Genesis Rabbah. I'll just zoom out if you want a screenshot, and then I'll zoom a bit in. Okay, so commenting upon Genesis 6:6, the Lord regretted that he made man on the earth, and he was saddened in his heart. The Lord regretted that he made man on the earth. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Nehemiah, Rabbi Yehuda said, God said, there was regret before me that I created him below, meaning on the earth. For had I created him on high, he would never have rebelled against me. Rabbi Nehemiah said, God said, I take solace in the fact that I created him below. For had I created him on high, just as he incited the lower beings on earth to rebel against me, so he would have incited the supernatural beings, the angels, to rebel against me. Rabbi Avu said, God said, there was regret before me that I created an evil inclination in him. As had I not created an evil inclination in him, he would not have rebelled against me. Rabbi Levi said, God said, I take solace in the fact that I made him so that he would ultimately be placed in the earth. So you have rabbis disagreeing about if God regretted or if the verse means that God was consoled. And it was like, good thing that I didn't make him in the heavens. Whereas the other rabbis were saying, no, God regretted. So they're interpreting the verse differently. Interpreting the word for regret in different ways. Now, so Genesis Rabbah 27 again. And he was saddened in his heart. Rabbi Barachia said, this is analogous to a king who built a palace by means of an architect. He saw it, and it was not to his liking. At whom should he be angry? Is it not the architect? So he was saddened in his heart. And in the footnote they've written, his heart and his wisdom counseled him to create man. So it seems as if he's angry at, or he's sad at, his own heart and his own wisdom. He was saddened in his heart. Meaning he was saddened at his heart, something like that. Another rabbi says this is analogous to a king who engaged in commerce by means of an intermediary and incurred a loss. Against whom should he have a grievance? Is it not against the intermediary? So he was saddened in his heart. So what seems to be going on here is that God is saddened at his heart, because it's his heart that led him to create all this stuff. And so now that it's not turned out to his liking, God is sad at his heart. That's what seems to be their midrash. Again, Bereshit Rabbah, this time 29. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. It is written, he will rescue the unclean, and he will escape by the pureness of your hands. Rabbi Hanina of Anatot said, Noah had only 1 ounce of virtue to his credit. If so, why was he spared? It was by the pureness of your hands. This is in accordance with what Rabbi Abba bar Kahana said, for I regret that I made them, and Noah. Even Noah, who alone remained from them, it is not that he was worthy, but rather he found favor in the eyes of the Lord, as it is stated, but Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Again, Bereshit Rabbah 32:7 this time. We'll zoom in a bit. It was after the passage of 7 days, and the water of the flood was upon the earth. It was after the passage of 7 days, and the water of the flood. This teaches that the Holy One, blessed be He, gave them a reprieve during the 7 days of mourning over the righteous. What that word is, I don't know. So that they might repent in the interim, but they did not do so. Another matter, it was after the passage of 7 days. So this rabbi said, the Holy One, blessed be He, observed mourning over the destruction of his world for 7 days before the flood came upon the earth. What is the source? He was saddened in his heart, Genesis 6:6. And sadness denotes nothing other than mourning, as it stated, the king is saddened over his son. This rabbi said, they sinned with the orb of the eye, that is like water. The Holy One, blessed be He, too, exacted retribution against them only with water. So you can see some rabbis, indeed, in Genesis Rabbah, taking the interpretation that God regrets.